All right, everybody, we had a second potty drink and or potty drink, not potty drink, potty break.
Potty drink.
I'm drinking.
My God.
All right, see, this is what happens when we have a beer or two or three or four in, everybody. But welcome to another episode of BFF. This one, we're going to do another local brewery. Obviously, we just did Exile, but we'll do another Exile, but it's going to be the Zoltan Session IPA. This is actually, it's a good IPA. It's very light, obviously, when the word session. So just so everybody knows, if you don't know, session means it's kind of a lower, the hoppiness is lower, the alcohol content most likely will be lower. These are more attainable for people who don't drink hoppy beers. So just kind of give everybody a heads up on that. But we'll do this beer here.
It's like your Bud Light to your Budweiser for IPAs.
There you go. That's a good one. Good job, Fishing Kit. I like that. That's a good acronym?
No.
Not acronym. What's that? What do you compare shit? Analogy. Obviously.
Words are hard.
IPA is an acronym.
It is?
Yeah.
So there you go.
What is it? What's the acronym for?
Indian Pale Ale. Yeah, man, I drink too much beer. I swear. I mean, like I say, I used to brew beer, and I keep saying I need to get back into it. I need to really get back into it, but the damn kids keep taking too much time.
This isn't that bitter.
No. Session.
Or at least for me. Do you think this is a bitter beer, Denny?
This would be right. So I am not an IPA fan. So this would be borderline for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything more hoppy than this, I would.
So
hard pass, right? But I can drink this.
Yeah. So anybody who loves craft beer and they have friends or family that they want them to try craft beer, and especially if you're an IPA guy or gal, get them started with a session IPA. That's what I highly recommend, or a dark beer or something. Just that takes away the bitterness at the beginning, so then it builds their tolerance. Session is always the way to go to build that tolerance for the IPA. It's just like when you eat spicy food. We were just talking about spicy food a second ago. You don't just give somebody literally a ghost pepper who doesn't eat spicy. I mean, you can, and it's
fun to watch.
True. But it's just like that. It's like you build up your tolerance to anything else. So IPA is the same way. I think anyone, you can bring them in with the session. So sorry, everybody. This episode, we're just continuing on from what Denny was talking about. He was talking about that Eagle Maniac guy. I think it was River something.
It was the Rachel Ray of the River.
Yeah, Rachel. Right. I love that. It's so awesome at the moment. I hope you watch. Okay, so this is like part 3. So we're giving him 2 episodes to watch, either one of them. Okay?
Oh, yeah. His head is blowing up now. He's like, oh, they did a 3rd episode just because they had to talk about me.
Because we did 3 episodes of him. Danny had to one up or at least equal him by doing 3 episodes too.
Exactly. So the deal's still on. You can watch this one or the previous one or listen to either one of those, Mr. Certified, and we will gladly, I don't know, gladly or not, but we'll get you around if you do.
Did he tell you how he came up with that name?
No. Okay.
Oh.
So here we go.
Here we go.
So this is going to be, are we outing him on this?
Here's the juice.
The juice.
So no, hold on, before you do. So everybody, I'm gonna tell the what was he call his not the
River Rats?
River Rats.
The River Rats. So, yeah, he's giving him a name now.
All right, River Rats.
So so first off, we were talking about last time that Spencer and I, it's funny because and I was giving him props. He's got a lot of viewers now, a lot of subscribers, and he's really good about making regular content. And but we both have a lot of people who hit us up and make comments that they like when we work together. They like our collaborations. They like when we fish together because we're fun to watch. And I mean, I think even, Spencer's fun to fish with. He makes me crazy in many ways, and he's ridiculous. But Spencer's the one guy, and especially because Spencer's almost exactly 20 years to the day younger than I am, right? So I'm the old man, and there aren't a lot of people my age who are willing to go do the stupid stuff that I'm willing to do, like to go put in under a bridge and float sections of river. So if I want to do something, Spencer's usually up for it. And if Spencer wants to do something, and it's probably not the smartest thing, but there's a chance to have a good adventure and catch some fish, I'm usually up for it. So we have a pretty good time together. So that's where we were. That's where we were when we left.
So if you guys, anybody who's listening to this or watching this, you guys gotta go check out their channel. When he says they literally get into spots where they take their kayak and help each other carry over stuff that they probably should not be kayaking on, first of all. It's pretty damn entertaining, interesting, and it also makes you realize that, yeah, I'm smart, I'm not doing that.
There was last year we did because we like to explore, that's one thing Spencer and I really have in common, is that we're both, apart from the fishing and liking, catching big fish, we really like the adventure exploring part. And so we'll always looking at the map and be like, oh, this spot, look, this stretch looks like it might be really interesting, and it might only have, there's one spot, here's 11 miles of river that has, on the map, there's one spot that looks like it could be really good, and we'll get out and we'll go and find out that one spot is like, this giant brush pile sitting on land and there's no hole and it was all for nothing, and that happens. But like last year we went out and we did this stretch, and we came up to a full strainer. We had to take the kayaks and we had to get out and we had to drag up over the log jam, and then we came to another one. And by the time we hit the third strainer, we were like, okay, this is not, the first, and we were like, oh, we're gonna have to tackle this thing, and then the second one was like, oh, and then the last one was like, geez, we're done with this. Can we I don't want to do this again anymore, But so the adventures are fun. They're good times.
So
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
The name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So before the reason why I was going to cut you off is when you guys get to those spots, if you wanted to turn back, could you?
Not usually.
Okay. No. Okay. I just wanted.
Yeah.
So if anybody, like I say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, please check out their channel in their videos on this, because they literally go to these spots. I'm like, why don't you guys just freaking turn back around? But that's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, if so we've shuttled. I mean, and technically we could, but you're talking about, okay, I'm 5 miles downstream from where we put in, and we'd have to turn around and paddle against the current upstream, and a lot of times shallow water, we'd have to get out and drag. And then we're not fishing, and just follow the plan. Just suck it up, embrace the suck, right? And follow the plan.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to, because I watched
Good
those,
question.
I'm just like, why don't you just turn around? But then that makes sense. Like, you're going to paddle up against, you don't want to do that.
And we've sat there and been like, well, is there some place we can get on the bank and go around? No, that's a 10-foot drop, and that's a 10-foot drop all the way. And, we're always looking for the easy way, and finally, usually we're just like, well...
Yeah.
Up and over.
Gotcha.
So
before I was rudely cutting him off, he was about to explain. So to the river, his river rats.
Yeah, for all you river rats out there.
How did he come up with the?
Yeah, so it's a pretty good story. He when we first started fishing together, he had a webpage and a channel, and it was called The Outside Bend, right? And I think it was meant to be a play on words, because it's the outside bend in the river is good fishing, and also it's the outside because he likes to be outside, so he's got an outside bend, right? Oh, because I'm Spencer and I'm clever. I'm a school teacher, and
sorry,
right? So The best part of this, though, is if you search outside Bend, it's a soccer term. So all you get are soccer results, right? So that was his channel. I mean, that was his channel. That was his website. Well, you know, whatever. I mean, sometimes that happens. And then one day he came up with this. He's like, I'm changing the name. I got another name, River Certified. I'm like, dude, that's actually not bad. Where'd you come up with that? How did you know that's? And he's like, well, and I'm not going to name names. He's like, I was watching this show, which I will not name. He's like, I was watching this show, and these guys caught this fish, you know, and they were doing this thing, and the guy was like, that thing is River Certified. And he was like, oh. He's like, I jumped on the line and started looking to see, and it wasn't copyrighted. So I immediately grabbed the domain and took the name. And I'm like, so you stole it.
So technically.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey,
But the guys he got it from the show, they never said anything. And I'm sure they've seen the name. So
you know what? I'm going to give Spencer on the 8. Hey, I'll cheers to you on that one. Hey, that was brilliant.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. That was
Right.
very brilliant of you, man.
Opportunity presented itself, and he jumped at it. And I mean, seriously, how can you go wrong with a name like that? The name is good. Everybody wants to buy a stupid hat that says River Certified because, you know, it's not. It's when you buy something that says River Certified, you're not promoting his brand necessarily. You're badging yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
Which is, you know, so.
You know, I almost wore one of his hats
today.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do that today.
That would go into my roast video.
I
That's
can't
coming.
do that to Denny.
Oh, I hope you cut the. Hey, I'm going to cut this part. So just so you know, I'll cut this little part if you want. Put in the roast video. So you can, like, you know what? This is I'm roasting you, but then on top of that, just in case the river rats didn't see this show, here you go.
There's so much going into that video that I almost feel bad for Spencer. He might almost have to actually defend himself.
So FYI, everybody, keep on tabs with Denny here because he's gonna have a nice little.
I've been compiling all of Spencer's nonsense, and I'm putting out a video soon that will be documenting. Because people are like, why don't you fish together more often? I can only take so much of him, and here's why.
But you know what? That brings up a great point. I mean, I want to know a little bit more because YouTube has a lot of fishing channels now. So a lot of people, whether, you know, children of all ages, I'm seeing like tons and tons because there's over 1.5 billion YouTube channels, and I see a ton of fishing channels now. So I know you guys both are in that world, that realm, I guess you can say. Where do you guys see it going? I mean, and I think what you were just mentioning about the reason why people are asking you guys to do more collab is because it's something a little bit different. Because you know how typically when you watch a YouTube channel, you see one person, they fish whatever you know, whatever they do, they put their camera on them or they wear their GoPro. So, but the more and more I see, like you're saying, I think people are asking for the collabs is because it gives them two different angles, another person that they can see from their channel or whatnot. And that's what I'm asking. Where do you guys see it going? What do you think? And what do you guys think about that?
Well, let's say me as somebody that consumes media, like I don't watch scripted shows like at all. Like I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. Like YouTube is pretty much unscripted. Like, yeah, like the media that I consume is, you know, is YouTube videos. It's you know, just your average Denny, just a guy, you know, just like you and me. He goes out, shows what he does, and you know, that's what I like to watch. Like, I think the fact that it's unscripted, it's like real. Like everybody's tired. Like you got your FLW, your Bassmasters, whatever. Like all these big productions where they have like it's all scripted, and you know they just control whatever they're trying to present to you.
Very polished.
Right.
Polished in a way that's not. It's you've gotten past just being real.
Mm-hmm. Right. I guess it's kind of, I don't know, kind of like punk rock. Is that one way to put it?
Did you just say punk rock?
Yes. You know, it's like against.
Kid, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, it's like
It
against,
is.
It's against the like the mainstream.
Right. It's unpolished.
Yeah,
it's raw.
Yeah, it's raw, unpolished.
Punk
Yeah.
rock is not raw.
It is.
Is
like,
it? You think it
like
is?
you listen to punk rock, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The production value isn't there.
There's no
Like,
production value.
The appeal isn't there. It's like, or
Yep.
like your underground, like you know, just 3 dudes in a garage, just jamming out, wailing.
I think if people get on YouTube you're right, saturated. I mean the fact is, and why wouldn't it be? Because you had early on, YouTube was figuring itself out, and people were, it was kind of a place you'd go and you might look for something and find some information, and then there were like a few people who had like really captured like cornered areas of it, because there wasn't a ton of competition. And then YouTube started really blowing up and becoming more mainstream for people to watch. And then these people started making money. And then, everybody was like, oh, I like to fish and GoPros are like $250. I'm making a channel, I mean, when I did it, when I started, it was all I like to fish, and I was kayak fishing, and then I like the kayak, and I had some video editing experience because I was the skater dad for a long time. I had a kid who skateboarded, and I was constantly video editing, and and then he grew up and he wasn't doing that, and I'm like, oh, that was fun. I enjoyed editing, and now I'm not doing it. And then I was trying to learn about the kayak stuff, and then I started, so there was like product reviews, but then there were also just videos of people out in saltwater catching fish, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Well, I can get a GoPro, I'll make a channel, and then now especially, everybody's like, oh, now it's like a gold rush. Yeah. Everybody thinks, well, there's money to be made, so this isn't even necessarily I want to turn this into a business. So there's a crap ton of people all trying to find a way to outmaneuver everybody else in this saturated market. And how can I find a niche? And how can I get a following? And what can I do? Can I be dramatic? Or can I be over the top? Or can I be vulgar? Or can I create drama? Whatever, And I think what you're speaking to is true. That, people, they want to watch something and learn something, because they want to learn, and they want to watch and feel like they're having a good time, like they're there, And I think that's one of the reasons why people, especially like when Spencer and I do stuff together, because we're constantly giving each other a hard time, and that whole alpha male thing that's happening, people like to, that's how when I go out with my friends, that's what it's like. We're all busting each other's balls and having a good time, and it's real, and it's something people can relate to.
I think that's the biggest thing. That's real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Like you were just saying, it's not scripted. It's just, you can tell when you see those videos. Like, I mean, the amazing editing you see some of these people do, it's like, it's unbelievable. It's great. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But to me personally, as a person, I mean, I consume YouTube quite a bit, and it's because like you said, I like the rawness. It's 100% right, because I don't need it to be 100% perfect. The editing, I could care less about that. But if it's something that this is someone who's super passionate about that I'm passionate about that at the same time, and see them doing that I couldn't do that, but I can be there with you because you're doing it right there. And yep. I think that's to me what draws to me the smaller channels, I guess you can say, because I think they, or whoever, like you were saying, the people who made it just out of pure love and out of pure whatever, yep. You can kind of see that. But then that's what I'm wondering, like, so all the people who are just jumping on the gold rush, in a sense, I mean, you think they're going to be around still? You think they're going to be gone? Well,
like, those guys, they, like, this is like the antithesis.
How many beers in are
antithesis is the correct word
of my punk rock analogy earlier. They're seeing these guys that are making it big, making money off of YouTube, and even myself, like, I don't like before I would just like, oh, this is a fishing YouTube video. I want to watch their stuff. And since there's so many YouTube channels out there now, that even those big channels are like mainstream. They're the
You're right.
the scripted, how can I be as ridiculous as possible to gain as many views as possible.
Yeah.
I've gotten away from like all that stuff on YouTube too. Like I seek out those smaller channels, like Float Fish Adventure.
Tiny little channels.
What channel was that again?
Float Fish Adventure.
And let me just say, right, if you love something, do not let the odds scare you. If you love something, do it and go all in. And I'm absolutely 100% serious about that, right? And then I want to back that up with, if you think you're going to jump on YouTube and get rich quick, you're mistaken, right? Because the amount of effort that goes into a channel, that it's a marathon. It is an absolute marathon to get, of consistency, of constantly putting out new content. And let me tell you something, especially here, living in Iowa, fishing, you can say, I'm going to make a video. I want to put out a channel of this, right? And okay, I'm going to put out 1 video a week, 2 videos a week. And I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot and I'm going to edit. And this is my schedule. This is my production schedule. Well, fishing requires that the fish cooperate with your your production schedule. Yeah. And they don't always, And there was, I spent 1 year. I'm like, I'm going to do a video a week. I'm doing it. I want to see what it takes. I want to see how feasible it is to work into my life. And because I have a real job, unlike some certified people. And I was like, literally, the anxiety. I had days where like, okay, if I don't edit tonight, I won't get my video posted on Thursday when it has to post. If I do edit tonight, I won't be able to go get bait. And if I don't have bait, I can't fish Saturday morning, and I have to fish Saturday morning or I'm not going to have content for next week. Because I would get to where I would have dry spells and I'm like, I'm fishing today for Thursday's video. I don't have a backlog anymore. Sometimes you get a backlog and you got a buffer, and then it's just time management. But fishing is fishing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, right?
I understand.
Yeah. So and to do, I did it for a year. I stuck with it for a year, and then I was at the end of the year. I'm like, I'm assessing, and then I was like, I am so sick of this, and it's not fun, And I'm changing this because it all of the other things that I like about my life, I had to cut out. Wow. I didn't get to see my friends. I wasn't spending time with my kids. I'm like, this is. And I'm not trying to replace my job, I just want to do something I love and share it with people. And if it's once a week, cool. If it's once a month, cool. And that's my deal now.
At the end of the day, if you're looking to start a YouTube channel, just make sure you do it for the love. Otherwise, it will, at the end of the day, eat you up.
That's true.
And it won't be fun. I think you're right, because if you're going to start a YouTube channel, don't look at the subscribes. Don't look at the watch and views. Don't do it for your happiness that you want to show people of your joy. I think that will make you, at the end of the day, even if you get 10 subscribers in 10 years, so be it. But you did it because you enjoyed it. Because if you, like you were just saying, if you focus so hard of who's going to subscribe, who's going to view, it takes the joy out of fishing, and that's really difficult to do.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. Well, with that, sometimes it's easy to get into that, like just checking on your analytics.
It is.
Yeah.
You can get sucked into the analytics. And I was looking at them every day. No.
I ain't gonna lie. I do it now. I look at that stuff. I mean, well, one, it's fascinating too, and then you can see your progress and stuff. But it's easy just to get sucked into it. Then you just kind of go down like a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, I'm like the two things I geek out about: fishing and peak performance, right? And so I take everything I do and I turn it into how can I do it better? How can I do it better? How can I do it better? Because I like that. That's kind of the kind of person I am, you know? So that's what I did with YouTube. And I was like, I'm constantly, and then I'm like, okay, it's eating up. I'm trying to polish it, make it better, and it's eating up all this time, and it's taking away from the other parts of my life that I value, you know? And there was this weird thing of like, but I know I can do it better.
Yeah.
You know, and
like creatively,
yeah, you know, and like I enjoy like telling a story. You know, I have a few videos that I really am like happy with. Oh, I feel like this told a story. It was like a mini documentary from start to finish, and I feel really good about it. But you can't do that. You can't do that on a weekly schedule by yourself,
Right.
shooting, fishing in Iowa when you only have this much of the year that you can fish.
That's true. That's true.
So
we'll wrap this up because we had Denny here for this is the third episode. Definitely appreciate your time and effort to sit here and have beers with us. I don't know how much effort
I
that
appreciate you lubing me up. Thank you.
But and you know my biggest thing is I brought you here because of obviously watching your channel, just seeing what you do and how you enjoy what you did doing on your channel and everything, and fishing wise and everything. I mean, I just want to hear from you, as a guest here, what is your biggest goal for fishing for yourself? Like, what do you want to do, whether it's your YouTube channel, whether it's I want to catch whatever kind of fish, or what's your goal? What at the end of the day, hey, Grandy, Kit, next year this is my goal, or this year this is my goal, this is the fish, or whatever. What's your goal fishing wise? And why?
So yeah, that's a really cool question. Honestly, it's about it's.
I stumped him.
Right, it's a complicated question to answer. I my goal is, what I expect to get out of it, what I want to get out of it is the adventure. Honestly, I want to use the fishing to create these really cool opportunities and experiences in my life, and that's as much as like I don't take the whole pro staff thing seriously and the sponsorships and all that nonsense that people get all hooked up into. Those aspects of it have created really cool opportunities for me. The YouTube channel has created opportunities for me. Well, somebody will hit me up and say, hey, come down here and fish with me here at this lake. Come down and fish with me here. I've met really cool people because of the fishing. I've made some really cool connections. I've had random people that I don't know message me and show me a picture of some big flathead, and they're like, dude, because I watch your channel, this happened, and I can't thank you enough because this was super cool. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. That's not even what I got into it for, but that's really cool. So there isn't one thing. It's how many different ways, how much can I take fishing that I love to do, which is something I love to do since I was a kid, and how much can I make it, what can I do with it to make it so that it adds value to my life in many different ways. Cool. And that's always what I'm after.
So at the end of the day, it's the adventure. Now I know why he named his channel
right
Fish Adventure. It's the adventure, guys. So anyone listening to this, when you fish, when you do anything, enjoy the adventure. Chase that. I think that's makes me want to go fish, guys. I don't know about you guys, but so just to kind of wrap this up, Kit, you have anything else to say, Fishing Kit?
I might have to go potty soon. But yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Denny.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
This was fun.
I've always pictured, looked at you as and damn it, trying to think of informative person. Like, you're not about spectacle. It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's about getting the information out there.
We already know who's about spectacle.
Spectacle.
Spectacle. All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the show. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.